Okay. Welcome back. Just 1 second to be sure that if it is recording. I think it is automatically starting to record. Tamam. Yes, it's okay. Someone sent me a message, but I saw it after, while I'm just closing the system. I saw it. So he told me to upload this lecture notes. Lecture notes are on Moodle. So this is the operating system's lecture on Moodle. Please, there are some other operating systems lectures from previous semesters. If they are open, do not try to enroll them, because the newest one is this, and this one is the one which I'm going to upload lecture notes during this semester. So do not enroll to wrong operating system lecture. Okay, it is written operating systems, all groups. So far we have about 79 participants. That's why I thought that almost everyone are there. But after that question, I am thinking that you are either in wrong group or not checking your Moodle regularly. As you see, course outline and the introduction chapter is here. Also, tomorrow I will do the next topic, and I will upload the next topic here as well. Okay. So why it is a wrong one? Huh? Just 1 second. I don't know why, but I can't. Yes. Sorry, I was trying to share. Yes. So in the previous operating system we can say is batch operating system, or that kind of operating systems. And in the third generation that they developed multi-programming, that kind of operating systems are called multi-programming operating system. And multi-programming feature is still using in today's computers. It means more than one task we can put in our memory. So in third generation, the introduction of multi-programming plays a very important role in developing operating systems that allow a CPU to be busy every time by performing different tasks on a computer at the same time, like the example that I explained to you in a previous lecture at last time. Okay. Also, in third generation, okay, they developed that kind of operating systems that it is very important. But at the same time, in hardware parts, they made a kind of computer that it is, according to the previous versions, are very, very small. I'm talking about this. So this is a kind of computer. The previous computers, as you see, like this. So it is filling a big room. And in 1961, they developed DEC-PDP-1. And it is just, we can say it is a kind of phenomenal evolution. And the name of this computer is mini computer. It is not mini for today, but at that time, think about that. It is maybe the first desktop computer. And actually, this PDPs leads the creation of personal computers in next generation, I mean fourth generation. And in fourth generation, it is the time that personal computers are developed. And of course, it is the continuation of the mini computers. They made it smaller. And today, as you see, as you know, we are using laptops, tablets, desktop computers. And that was the starting point, the computers that we can use at our homes. And in fourth generation as well, the first Windows operating system is evolved. Just 1 second. First operating Microsoft Windows operating system evolved in 1985, not 75. And in 1981, MS-DOS is first introduced. This is our command prompt. We are still using this one. Actually, generally, the people that are how can I say, if you are a kind of computer guy or like to just work with computers, some commands is easier to instead of checking the computer in graphical user interface, it is easier to use DOS to write a command and fix something or change something. Still, we are using it. But in 1981, it is developed as a whole operating system. And then in 1981, first Windows is developed. And it continued like that till now. I think we have Windows 11. We have several operating systems in between. But here Windows 1, it is the first graphical user interface operating system. I mean, not we are writing it to a black screen. We have a graphical user interface and we were operating the system by using mouse. So like today, of course, it is very primitive version of today's Windows, but they have similarities. At least it is can be a kind of graphical user interface. And also we have other operating systems. In 1980s, Apple by Steve Jobs is developed. Then its name is changed to Macintosh or Mac OS. And also, I think you know that the Windows is and MS-DOS is developed by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Okay, these are the generations of operating system. If you don't have any question, I will continue from advantages of operating systems. So it is a kind of explanation of why we are using operating systems. One of them is it is helpful to monitor and regulate resources. So we can see how much resource we are using. We can just stop some processes that we don't want. So it is helpful to monitor and regulate resources. The other advantage is it can easily operate since it has a basic graphical user interface to communicate with your device. Graphical user interface means we can graphically use our computer, not by just writing commands. So it is like if you want to put something to recycle bin, you can just drag and put it there. Or if you want to move one file to another, you can also just move it with your mouse or just right click send to something like that. But we can see everything. So this is graphical user interface. The other one is it is used to create interaction between the users and the computer application or hardware. So operating system, a kind of bridge or a kind of middleman that we can just using it to communicate between the softwares and the hardwares. The other one, the performance of the computer system is based on the CPU. So we can check the performance by using operating system. The response time and throughput time of any process or program are fast. So we can easily take response from any process or program. Or the throughput, I mean, the data you are in or out, these kind of things. So operating system makes it fast. By using operating system, or it can help to share different resources like fax, printer. So it helps us to communicate with that devices. And also networking and web, it is helping for that features. Actually, how can I say? Someone asked me about the attendance. Okay, at the end of the third lecture, everyone can write me your student number. Okay, same question again. Lecture notes are on Moodle. Did you check? I just show in the beginning of this lecture. Friends, don't start to write the numbers now. At the end of the third lecture, please. Because I have to just eliminate from other messages. So please, let's do it in last lecture, okay? So let me to continue. Also, it helps to run various type of applications and also web applications. Okay, so messages are distracting me. That's why I am stopping. Okay, I'm feeling myself like you are making a live streaming on YouTube or something like that. And also they are trying to read the comments. Okay. So I am skipping the disadvantage of operating system. I will continue from types of operating system. Okay, so we are using operating system to manage the computer hardware. And it is consists of several programs actually. So we have several kind of operating systems. Here the resource is just not taking only operating systems that we are using. It takes the operating systems that we used before. But in one class, someone asked me why you show us this. Students generally does not want to, sometimes they want something like pills. they want me to they want to say from me, okay, take this one, take this information and pass the lecture. But it is not like that. There's a history. Of course, I'm not going to just explain the history, but I have to just start from one point to explain why, how we came to this point. So that's why I'm going to explain all operating systems. Of course, each of them is 1 or 2 slides, not so much. Okay, the first one that I explained in the beginning in historical part, in 1980s, the batch processing was very popular. And as I told you, similar types of jobs were batched together and executed in time. So similar jobs means one of them is just making arithmetical operations. The other one is just translating words, for example. Okay, so similar jobs. And this is called, this kind of operating system is called batch operating system. So in the batch operating system, access is given to more than one person. They submit their respective jobs to the system for execution. They are generally using an operator, as I told you before, or the operating system directly. But think about that, you can connect to a computer, or just there's an operator in between. So the system put all the jobs in a queue on the basis of first come, first serve, and then execute the jobs one by one. Think about that. You are working in a post office and you got, for example, 100 emails, and you want to separate them according to their addresses. So you are separating the letters according to the neighborhood. For example, one street, 10 letters, other street, 3 letters, like that. And you assign a mailman to each of them. So batching is something like that, okay? Of course, here we have only one CPU, but batching is something like that. We are just separating the tasks according to their types. And we are making a queue on the basis of first come, first serve. What does this mean? Think about that. You want to use the ATM machine. If someone else came there before you, that person should finish the task, and then you can continue. This is first come, first serve. Okay, but for example, in banks, there are some algorithms that if you are a student, they don't care you so much because they think, okay, they don't have so much money. But if you are a businessman, when you take a number from the numerator, you see that, for example, you came before a guy, but he finished the task before you because he has high priority, okay, according to the bank. Okay, so this is priority. This one, the batching system, it is first come, first serve. Okay, I don't care who are you. Just if you come first, it is okay. So the purpose of this operating system was mainly to transfer control from one job to another as soon as the job was completed. But so it is finishing one job that a computer taking another job. But think about that, it is making the same tasks. It is like robots. I mean, for example, in a car company, in a car factory, one robot is only doing a same thing, very, very fast, but it is always doing same thing. Think about that computer is just first you are giving similar jobs and it will do similar things. Then the type of jobs are changing and it is starting to do something else. So this is a batch operating system. Okay, I don't want this slides. Yes, the disadvantage of batch operating system is starvation. What did we say? Batch operating system, it is doing the similar things. It is just separating the tasks, and each task, each group of tasks are similar things. But also think about that. The previous task, I mean, let me to give example from that. Think about that. We have 5 jobs or processes or tasks, doesn't matter. Job 1 is very high execution time. It means, and if job 1 is come first, the others should wait it. It is something like that. You want to use the ATM machine. In the beginning, just before you, there's an old lady that using it. And she is just putting one credit card, plugging out, putting another one, just making several things. She spent 15 minutes there. But your task is maybe you need only 15 seconds. You just take some money and leave there. But she is actually wasting your time. So this is starvation, okay? Normally, your task is very, very takes less time, but you have to wait for her. So in this case, here in batch operating systems, if the execution time of the first or second or some process is very high, the jobs that after that will never be executed or will take so much time, or they will wait so much time. So the other process are saying it is starving. So also we are saying it is convoy effect, okay? So think about that. There is on the way, there is a truck, which it is going in 20 kilometers per hour. And the other cars are just make a queue after that. So this is starvation. And also the batch operating system is not interactive. What does it mean by not interactive? When you just normally in this today's operating systems are interactive because when you ask something, they can reply you. Okay, so think about that, an ATM machine again. You are not deciding everything while you start to use an ATM machine. One by one, you will operate. First, you enter your password. It opens you the system. Then it is asking you what you want to do. You say, okay, I will just want to see my balance. You enter, it will show you balance, and it asks you if you want to do something else. So it is interactive. According to your response, it is changing its working time. But think about that in the ATM machine, you will just write to a paper, okay, your password, then what you want to do, and give the machine. So it is not interactive. So here, think about that. If you want to design a program to add two numbers, first of all, program will ask you, enter two numbers. You will enter two numbers. Then it will ask you, okay, what do you want to do? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You will say addition. So at the end, it will show you the result. But think about that in batch operating system, you can't do it like that. You have to say 3, 4, and addition, and send to the system. Okay, so it is not interactive. So you have to just put everything and take the result. This is another disadvantage of batch operating system. The other one is multi-programming operating system. I explained it a little bit. Okay, it is an extension of batch processing, and their aim in multi-programming is to keep CPU always busy. Okay, keeping CPU always busy means if we have some task to do, I have to give to CPU, okay? It is like a boss. Think about that. You have some employees. If you have some task to do, you will not let your employees to just sit. You have to give that task to them to work. Okay. So normally in the system, we have two different kind of processes: CPU bound process and input output bound process. CPU bound means that process needs more CPU. That process needs CPU more during execution. Okay, because each process or every process needs some input output manipulation, and some of them needs very less, some of them need so much. When they need so much input output manipulation, it is called input output bound process. So as you see in B, these parts are CPU bursts. The time, if you think that this is a timeline, the time that CPU is executing that process, the others are the times that it is waiting for input output. Okay, So in multi-programming, the system is balancing these two kind of processes. So it is trying to give CPU one input-output bound process, one CPU bound process, or generally it is trying to balance them, the CPU bound processes and input-output bound processes. In this case, for example, when, let's say in B, CPU start to execute B, after a while, this process needs some input-output operation. So in this case, CPU can just leave this one and take another process. Okay, so in this case, CPU will be always busy if there are some processes to execute. So it is saying here again, in a multi-programming environment, when a process does its input-output operation, the CPU can start the execution of other processes. So in this case, multi-programming increases the efficiency of the system. So how many process we can put in main memory, it will increase the efficiency of the system. So in the advantage, it increased as the CPU always had one program to execute. So, and response time can also be reduced. We have 1 minute. I will start the next lecture. That's just, I'm finishing the lecture and starting. I'm not going to give a break, so you can leave earlier. And at the end of the next lecture, you can just send your student numbers to me.